in 1955, there was a fair. All of Westchester came to the fair, including myself, my husband, Jerry Silvers. Kentwood Players had a booth. And Doris Brown, at the time it was Doris Brown, and she said, we're casting Time of Your Life. If you're interested, come down to readings. Well, Jerry Silvers was very interested. He came down, and sure enough, he got a part, and he got cast in Time of Your Life, which brought me along with him. And my background was singing, dancing, drama. That was in high school. And the two of us fell in love with Kentwood Players and became staunch members. And from then on, Jerry went ahead and directed and acted, and myself also.
And you forget, was president.
And we were passionate about Kentwood Players. We were at the Barn Theater, which was Slauson and Sepulveda. And it was a large ranch and had about 200 seats. And everybody who came in got a cat on their lap. The place was overrun with cats. As a matter of fact, some cats gave birth on stage during a show. But eventually it was sold, and we had to find another venue. We have been at maybe 3 or 4 different theaters until we finally got the Westchester Playhouse.
Well, don't leave out the Pump House.
I won't leave out. The Pump House was very important, and it brought Charlotte into the group.
I joined in 1957, and I wish that I had joined in 1955 when I discovered Kentwood Players. The first play I saw at the Barn Theater, which is what they called it, was Front Page. And I didn't know him at the time, but Jerry Silvers was in it.
Yes.
And I recognized him later as somebody that I had met then. By that time, I had lived in Westchester for enough years to have acquaintances. I met Elsa Pierce.
She was one of the original Kentwood Players.
And she was one of the original Kentwood Players. I saw an ad in the newspaper, and in 1957, I showed up at a meeting because I'd lived in Westchester long enough to have a few acquaintances. And it was nice to see people that I recognized. Oh, this is someplace that lots of people go that I want to go to.
Okay.
The welcome, I can't tell you, it was so warm. It was so warm, so friendly. We had about 80 members, and they were all active. And they all did everything. I joined to act. I had been a brunette Shirley Temple since I was 6 years old, and frankly, all I wanted to do was act. But once I got into the group, I discovered there's so much more to acting than acting. If you aren't on stage, there's no reason you can't do something backstage.
Well, Charlotte held script for so many directors, especially for Jerry Silvers. She was a marvelous script person, I must say. She really was.
I love doing.
Yeah.
If nothing else, you learn, or at least I did, you learn direction as well.
Yeah.
You learn the nuances. it gave me the inspiration to want to be a director. I directed many, many workshops and finally got a main stage production myself. Milt Rowan discovered the property. This is the warehouse part of it. Outside the double doors was the dock, and the offices were what we now have as the lobby. Everything beyond the breezeway we have built.
When we bought this warehouse, we had to make a decision as to whether we were going to have theater in the round or proscenium staging.
Yeah.
So we took a vote. Well, the arguments were back and forth. We could not figure out who was in favor of what. So we had the membership. All those in favor of proscenium staging, go to the wall. All those in favor of theater in the round, go to that wall. So finally, proscenium staging, which meant a stage in the front, seats in the back, were won the vote. So
By how many votes?
by a few.
Not a few, darling. One vote.
One vote. Okay. So we proceeded to build a stage, and then in order to make the seats slant up, underneath here is a wooden structure going upward. I mean, it was quite a very delicate situation to design. But fortunately, we had 2 or 3 building contractors who were actors also. So we were very fortunate.
Wow.
Bill Bueller, Ken Bohard, Bob Schnaus was an electrician.
Right.
I mean, we were just lucky.
Incidentally, as far as building the stage is concerned, the reason it is as high as it is that we had absolutely no storage. And so the stage was built up to enable us to store things under the stage. Pat Gunter, the great producer, discovered an abandoned trailer on the parking lot of a standard station. And he noticed that it wasn't being used, and he said, well, can I have it? He says, if you'll tow it away. And so he arranged to tow it away and put it behind the theater. And how long was that, our dressing room, honey?
It's about 2 years.
At least,
Yeah.
at least. We paid it back in 10 years, and we had
Yeah.
a big burn the mortgage party. It goes to show you how poor we were in those days. At the mortgage burning party, I noticed that one of the tables for goodies had a bouquet in the middle. And I said, Elizabeth, we can't afford decorations now. And she said, this is an occasion, and I'm going to authorize, she was president at the time, decorations on the tables.
We actually could charge $3 admission.
Wow.
Many
1,200?
times at a board meeting, we collected $100 from the board members to make our payments.
Oh, yeah. And he said,
Eventually, we started raising our price, to $5 and eventually $7. We raised by inches because people did not have a lot of money and we wanted an audience. Jan Markham said to me, Calia, this is the perfect job for you. Why don't you consider getting on the board and selling theater parties? My eyes opened up and I just loved that job. I just loved it.
And she was good at it.
Yeah, I had so many group sales. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoons. It was just wonderful. I had a lot of groups that for 20, 30 years came as groups, 25, 30 people. People were season subscribers for 30 years. The community really loved our group. Well, my fondest memory is doing Fiddler on the Roof, doing the choreography, teaching the dances to the cast. Oh, that was so much joy. And I played Frumacera, the ghost. I came riding in on Harvey Rosenberg's shoulders. He was running around the stage, and it looked like I was flying. And when I would do the curse, I would bend, and he got a kink in his neck.
Oh, no.
And he blamed me. He said, ever since you did that part, I've got a kink in my neck.
I'll never forget my 90th birthday. That surprise, I didn't think Kentwood could pull a surprise on me. I thought I, quotes unquote, knew it all.
I am passionate about theater. When I see a play, it moves me, and I relate to the people on stage. I feel they're expressing something that I have either been through or heard about, and they're able to bring it close to me, and I have come through an experience. It's so wonderful, live theater. You will always be a little different after you have seen a live performance. And that's why the community, the Westchester and Los Angeles community goes to theater. They're hungry for a situation like this. That
from your
mouth to God's ear.
Yeah.
Now that we're having a new board coming in June, let's all put our heart and soul into it. It's worthy of passion and energy. We have existed little by little. We are now 71 years old. And let's hope there's another 71 coming ahead. Please support Kentwood Players. You will get return in your emotions. You will love it and go back to your homes happy and satisfied, and know that you have done a service to the community.